You've felt that weird moment when your heart seems to skip a beat. Maybe you were walking upstairs or lying in bed and suddenly, nothing. Just this strange pause that makes you freeze and wonder if everything's still working. Most of the time, it's just a harmless flutter. But what if it wasn't just a skip? What if your heart actually stopped beating for real? What would those final moments feel like before everything goes dark? Today we're diving into the science of what happens when your body's most essential machine suddenly shuts down. Your heart beats about 100,000 times every single day without you thinking about it. It's basically a biological engine that never gets a break. But unlike your car engine, when this one stops, you don't just pull over and call for help. You have minutes, maybe less, before permanent damage begins. Here's what actually happens, second by second, when your heart stops beating. Seconds 0 to 10, the silent shutdown. The first thing that surprises most people, you might not even notice. Cardiac arrest often begins with what survivors describe as an eerie quietness. There's no dramatic chest-clutching moment, like in movies. Instead, many people report feeling like the world just stopped. Your heart isn't sending that familiar thump-thump rhythm through your chest anymore. But here's where it gets strange. Your brain doesn't panic immediately. For about 10 to 15 seconds, you still have enough oxygen-rich blood circulating to think clearly. You might feel dizzy or confused, like something's off, but you can't quite place what. Some people describe it as feeling like they're in a dream that's slowly turning into a nightmare. Seconds 10 to 30, your body realizes something's wrong. Now your circulatory system starts screaming for help. Without fresh blood pumping from your heart, your blood pressure crashes faster than a house of cards. Your brain, which uses about 20% of your body's oxygen supply, begins to starve. This is when the weird sensations kick in. A 2018 study from the American Heart Association found that survivors often report feeling like they're floating or falling at the same time. Your vision might start tunneling, like looking through a shrinking peephole. Colors seem to drain away, and sounds become muffled, as if someone's slowly turning down the volume on reality. Your body tries to compensate by releasing adrenaline, but without a working heart to circulate it effectively, it's like trying to start a fire with wet matches. Seconds 30 to 60, the brain's last stand. Here's where things get really intense. Your brain realizes it's in serious trouble and starts making desperate moves to survive. You might experience what feels like electrical storms in your head. Some people report seeing flashes of light or hearing ringing sounds. This isn't your life flashing before your eyes. It's your neurons misfiring as oxygen levels plummet. Many survivors describe feeling strangely peaceful during this phase, which scientists believe happens because your brain starts releasing endorphins as a natural response to crisis. It's like your body's final gift to itself, making the experience less traumatic than you'd expect. But underneath that calm, your organs are panicking. Your kidneys stop filtering blood, your liver stops processing toxins, and most critically, your brain cells begin dying at a rate of about 1.9 million per minute. Beyond 60 seconds, the point of no return. After about a minute without circulation, unconsciousness takes over completely. Your brain waves, which normally show constant electrical activity, start flattening out like a heart monitor going silent. But here's something fascinating. Your brain doesn't shut down all at once. Different regions go offline in a specific order. The parts responsible for consciousness fade first, followed by basic functions like breathing control. The very last thing to shut down, the brainstem, which controls your most primitive survival functions. Studies show that even after clinical death, some brain activity can persist for several minutes. This might explain why some people who are successfully resuscitated report detailed memories of conversations happening around them during their cardiac arrest. The reality check. The truth is, most people who experience cardiac arrest don't get the Hollywood dramatic moment. There's rarely time for final words or deep thoughts. It's more like a gradual disconnection from reality, like slowly sinking underwater while the world above gets quieter and more distant. But here's what's remarkable. The human body is incredibly resilient. With immediate CPR and defibrillation, people can and do come back from cardiac arrest with their memories, personalities, and lives intact. Every minute matters, but those first few minutes aren't necessarily the end of the story. The strangest part. Many survivors say the experience changed how they think about every single heartbeat. Because once you've felt the silence when it stops, You never take that steady rhythm for granted again. What's the most racing your heart has ever gotten? Let me know in the comments.